Hello everyone. This video is going to explain how to use the letter generator to type your final draft of your letter. You will only use this letter generator after you have already completed your Angela's Problems table, after you've already completed the draft of your letter, and already had someone peer edit your letter. As a reminder, once your letter has been peer edited, you also have to go back and use their feedback and show it to me before you get to this point. So hopefully you've done that already. All right, so assuming that you've done all of that, you've clicked on the link for the letter generator, and this window over here is what's popped up. So the first thing that you need to do is put your name on your paper. So you'll do that, you'll put first name, last name, and then you'll click the continue button. Okay, so it says write your own letter, and then it asks you to click on the type of letter that you would like to write. So we're going to click friendly letter because we're pretending that Angela is our friend. So go ahead and click friendly letter. And then it says to type your address. So the first line is your street address, and that is over here in the corner of your paper. We're going to use the school's address. It is 25940 Grand River with a capital G and a capital R, and then Avenue. We're just going to abbreviate AVE, period, capital A. Then it says type your city, state, and zip code. And then it says remember to include a comma after your city and to abbreviate your state. So the city is Redford, comma. We're going to put the state, we're going to abbreviate that, capital M, capital I, and the zip code is 48239. And then the date, you're going to put whatever date it is when you're doing this. The date that I'm recording this video is April 8th, 2017. Once you've done all of that, make sure you click next. Just as a quick reminder, make sure you put a comma after the day, not after the month, not after the year. So it's April or May or whatever month it is, then the day, then a comma, then the year. Okay, go ahead and click next. And then it says, type in the name of the person to whom you are writing. A comma should be included after the name. So, dear Angela, and then add a comma and click next. Here's where you're going to actually get into the body of your letter, and you're going to type what you wrote and then edited. It indents for you automatically, so all you need to do is type what you wrote. Okay, I typed my first paragraph. Notice it automatically indented, and then the next line moved back over to the left. I'm going to push enter, and then it's going to indent for me automatically again. I'm going to type my second paragraph. Judge Ford's party, and I can only guess that this made you, oops, typo, you upset. I know that sometimes you feel like people don't want to talk about you, only Denton. This would bother me too. I really think you should. And remember, I didn't tell you what you should do. You wrote that on your own. Because I didn't tell you that. You should do that on your own. Okay, so I did my first paragraph and my second paragraph. Notice to read my whole letter, I have to scroll up and down on this little scroll bar here. Then I would scroll down or look at the rest of my paper because we have a paper copy of this. I would write my third paragraph, whatever that is. And then the last thing I'm going to do is write my fourth paragraph. I know that you didn't ask for my advice, but I wanted, oops, I forgot a comma, but I wanted to make sure you know that I still care, even if we don't talk much anymore. I have known you long enough to know that you are an amazing person all on your own and that you don't need a man or your mother to make you who you are. I hope to hear from you soon. I miss you. Okay. So before I move on, I need to go back and proofread. So that means I need to go back to the top and I need to reread everything that I typed and make sure that I have correct spelling, grammar, and punctuation. Those noises in the background, don't mind them. Those are just my dogs being obnoxious. Okay, so we're going to pretend that I read through everything. I checked my spelling, I checked my grammar, checked my punctuation, capitalization. I'm going to click next. So then it says step 5, closing. The closing is used to end your letter. The closing can change depending on to whom you are writing. Here are some examples. Notice that I gave you your friend on the draft paper that I gave you, so we're just going to go ahead and do that. So that's one of the options it gives you here. And it says a comma is included after the closing, so you're going to write your friend and then put in a comma. You have to put that comma in there. Click next, and then type the first name for the signature. So I'm going to type my first name. Click next. Sorry guys, I had to pause. My dogs were having what can only be described as an epic battle. So, okay, so I closed my letter, I put in my signature, I clicked next. It also says that you can add a postscript. I didn't show you how to do this in your draft, but you have to do it here. So you would write PS, so P period, S period, notice they're both capitalized. I would add a space, and then you would add a final message. So PS stands for postscript. So maybe something like PS, I hope you can still make it to my family's Christmas party. So just anything that you would want to add in there. PS is usually where you add something that you forgot to put into the rest of your letter. And PSs are usually pretty personal. Okay. So last thing you can do to kind of personalize your letters, add a border. There's these funky 70s looking flowers, these paw prints, although I'm not sure that that really captures Angela Wexler's personality. These dots and diamond shape, balloons, which I don't know really are appropriate for the letter because the letter is about advice for problems. And the last one is these hearts. And it's not a love letter. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to choose this border because I think that one or the first one would probably be the most appropriate if I chose to add a border. Okay, I'm going to choose that border, finish. Okay, so I can now print, save, or share my final letter. The other thing I can do is I can go back. So if at this point you decide, uh-oh, I really need to check something, I don't think I did something quite right, you can go back and you can take a look at what you wrote and make any changes at this point still. Okay, so in addition to this, let's say that you need more time to work on your letter. For some reason, you're not quite done. You can always click save and it will say still working, no problem. Save your file on a computer or a storage device to work on later. So you can save this to your flash drive or you can save it to a computer. I'm just going to save it as first name Angela letter. Okay. So if you don't have your flash drive, you can go ahead and just save it to the computer, the desktop, or in the documents folder. It's usually a good place to save it. So I'm just going to go ahead and save it in documents. Make sure that when you're saving it, that you make sure that it says this PC and then documents or desktop, because if you save it under NWEA or something, I'm not going to be able to find it again later and you'll have to redo everything. So this PC and then either documents or desktop, click save. Okay. And so the way that'll work, if you want to go back and open it, all right. So let's say we had to restart the next day because we weren't quite finished and we didn't want to start over. I would go to open and I would go to find my file, and then I would go to my documents and I would find my letter. Okay. And here's my letter. Everything's still there. It's all filled in. Okay, cool. So now I need to go ahead and save my final copy. And that is a pretty easy process as well. You're going to click Save Final. It's going to now save it as a PDF file. So I'm going to save it as first name, Angela letter. And then I'm just going to save it to the same place that I saved my original letter. So I'm going to go to my Documents folder. All right. And here it is, first name Angela letter. All right, it is saved. And that is how to complete your letter using the letter generator.